Hi, this is Chris from LeadGen, and in this video we'll talk about A/B testing with LeadGen forms. A/B testing, which is also called split testing, is a technique in digital marketing to test two different variants against each other. So that could be, for example, two web pages that you have built that are very similar to each other, two landing pages, things like that can be tested in an A/B test. Also, you can A/B test forms, LeadGen forms on its own, without the need to change the entire page that you're using. This is a very powerful feature and allows you to step-by-step increase conversion rates with not much effort, just by testing and to check what works, what doesn't work. I've built this form, which is an event registration form where users can sign up with their email to pre-register for an event. And imagine this form was used on a landing page that receives a lot of traffic every day. Let's say a few hundred, a few thousand of visitors every day, where also a lot of ad budget has gone into. In a case like this, you want to ensure that conversion rates are the best they can be, or to at least constantly improve them to make use of all this marketing budget and to become more profitable in your campaign. A/B testing with forms can work in a way that you can change certain parameters on the form. For example, the heading text or the questions, the number of questions you ask, the format of the form, whether it is a vertical form or a multi-step form, the button color, the text on the button. So there are many different variables you can play with, and you can test and then see whatever works best. So in order to do this, you go back to LeadGen, you go to your form, and then first of all, you need to create two variants, because obviously you need two variants at least to test against each other. If you had more than two variants, it would be called multivariate testing, which is not yet supported by LeadGen, but that also isn't the problem. The way you can simply get there is by just testing two forms at a time. So you test version A versus version B, and then whoever the winner is, you work with, and then you can add more variants over time. An important rule in A/B testing is to only change one parameter at a time. So that means if you look at this form, you would only change one element. So you would, for example, change the button color from yellow to green or to red, but you would not change another variable at the same time. If you did that, then the results wouldn't be significant, and you couldn't really work with that, because you couldn't tell, has the button color now helped me, or has the change of the heading helped me? So this is an important rule that I'd like to give you as some advice. Only change one element at a time, and that way you can exactly pinpoint what has caused improvements or deteriorations in your performance. In order to start the experiment, you would need two variants first, and you can simply do this by add a variant here, or by simply duplicating the form which I have already done here. So I simply press on duplicate, and then you would get another duplicate of this form. The champion variant right here is usually the one which performs best. So whenever a variant wins the first test round, you would make this the champion, so that you know this is my main version of the form which performs best. And then you have the challenger variants right here below, which you use in order to improve results and to challenge the champion variant. So now the question is, what parameter would we like to change in this A/B testing? One option, as I said, is the button color. That's a simple move, but something which could have more impact is simply to change the headline. So the headline can be completely changed, and you can see whatever works there. So instead of having this sentence, you can make this very short and say pre-register here, or something different. So that is one option, and this is what I'd like to start with. So all you need to do here is to simply change in your challenger variant, you change this text box text. You keep the champion variant exactly the same, so that there's no confusion, and you only make edits in the challenger variant. So here in the text box, I would just type in something like pre-register for the conference here. And for example, this exclamation mark, and then I mark this bold, and I can also give it a different size. Can make this a little bigger, and then preview it again. And then the challenger variant looks a lot different. So now once you have these two variants, then you can start the A/B test. And in order to do this, you go back to lead gen, to the form panel. You have opened the form, and then you find the experiment section here, and you click on it, add experiment. Create experiment with this button, give it a name, for example, A/B test first round, and then I'll give it a different name because this is an experiment I have already been running. So A/B test second round. And then you select the challenger variant. Now you need to find the form that you have given then a unique name. For example, you could name your champion variant V1 for version 1 and the challenger V2 for version 2, so that there's no confusion at all and you find the form easily in this panel. So, but in this case, I've just named it duplicate. You select it and you can add a note in here so that you have clarity on what this experiment was about. Then you click here on create experiment, and then it says you're ready to start the experiment. Confirm with this click, and then lead gen will actively start it. So now you can see the test is running. It's named A/B test second round. Event sign up form the previous one, and event sign up form duplicate. Each of these will now receive views. So if you had this on a page, embedded on a page, you wouldn't even have to update the lead gen code. All of that is done automatically by lead gen. So you can just keep your existing code that has been built, let's say, months ago, if that's the case. And if you then add a new variant and start this test with this panel here, when you see it is running, then all these changes get updated automatically, and lead gen will automatically assign the equivalent traffic portions to these two forms. So if you had 1,000 visitors to this page, 500 would go to version A, 500 to version B without the need to do anything else. So this experiment is here running. So this experiment is running here, and you can then anytime log in and see how many views and visitors each of these forms have received, and also the submissions, and most importantly, the conversions and conversion rate. And then once you feel you have enough data to stop it, you can hit the stop button, and then lead gen will tell you who the winner is. In this case, we have not gathered any data, so there's no clear winner in this case. And here you have exact information on the views, visitors, submissions, conversion, and conversion rate. So this way you can use A/B testing in lead gen forms. As I said, it is a good practice to do one test, the first test round, and then to see whoever wins this first test, and then you pick the winner, improve the winner even more, run the second test, and so on. And that way you can, by many different test rounds, find a winner which is a lot better than the initial form that you started with. So this is a really impactful marketing tool, and I really encourage you to use it and to improve your conversion rates with it.